Following the Terra money trail, it leads to new indications of possible shady stock trades and big profits from the skyjacking mass murders. President Bush wants more sky marshals on domestic flights, but forget about pistol-packing pilots. Some angry Taliban Afghans storm the abandoned U.S. embassy in Kabul. And Eye on America, the terror damage you can't see, the painful emotional wounds.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. There is growing evidence tonight, no conclusive proof but growing evidence, that people with advanced knowledge of the September 11th terror attacks may have used that knowledge to make big profits on the stock market. The investigation now includes the stocks of airlines and brokerages, some of whom had offices in the World Trade Center. CBS News has new information about the hunt for suspected terror leader Osama bin Laden. And President Bush is set to formally announce new air travel security measures, including more sky marshals and stronger cockpit doors. We begin with the widening investigation of unusual stock trading possibly linked to the terror attacks. CBS News correspondent Cheryl Atkinson is following the terrorist money trail.
Sources say U.S. investigators are making headway in tracking down suspicious stock trades made just before the attacks. Overseas, some investigators have already concluded that the terrorists or their supporters who knew what was coming executed sophisticated, precise financial transactions to profit from the fallout.
It's a horrific notion to conceive of, but it is not at all out of the question. It sounds like something we'd read in a Ludlum novel, and unfortunately, I think it may well have taken place.
In the U.S., the probe has widened to include trading in Morgan Stanley Dean Witter stock, a brokerage that had 3,500 employees in the World Trade Center. Also stock in other brokerage firms which stood to suffer losses in the attack: Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, and Bear Stearns. The airlines that had planes hijacked are also a key focus. There was extraordinary trading in stock options betting that American and United stock prices would fall, and soon. For example, United saw a surge 5 days before the attack involving 200,000 shares, people counting on the stock to plummet. Until then, the total number of such trades was for just 2,700 shares. With American, the unexplained rise came the day before the attack. U.S. authorities aren't yet saying where the trail is leading, but officials in Germany have gone public, saying they're now certain that people connected to the terrorists were involved in shady trades there. We have found movements that could not have been accidental in nature, says the head of Germany's central bank. He's talking about stock and insurance giants Munich Re and Swiss Re. Days before the attack, trading in each was double normal levels. Each company lost billions in the disaster. Altogether, at least 7 countries are dissecting suspicious trades that may have netted more than $100 million in profits.
Sometimes the money trail runs cold if it leads to offshore tax havens. But investigators now believe that in this climate, even the most secret of banks will hand over information to expose the most devious kind of insider trading. Dan?
Cheryl Atkinson in Washington.